Hi, everybody. I hope you had a great weekend. This video is to do a couple things. I want to show you how to get to your textbook again. If you need to rewatch this to do it, go ahead. Otherwise, there's also a video from last week of showing you how to get to your textbook. And then I also want to give you instructions for today. So to get to your textbook, you're going to be on ClassLink and you're going to look for Pearson. You're going to click on Pearson. If it does this to you, if it says that you're signed out, the only thing you have to do is exit out of this and click on it one more time. And if you click on it again, it should take you to your student dashboard. All right, so from here, we're going to click on ELA grade 8. It's going to take us to your dashboard. To get to your textbook, you're going to click here, the green where it says Browse. We want the student edition. Open a new window. And that will take us to the textbook homepage. From here, to get to the story, you click on Whole Class Learning. You see our essential questions. Scroll down to the medicine bag, and it will take you to the text. We want to get rid of this up here so that we can see more. So we're going to click Hide, and then it is organized by paragraph. So you are going to want to look back on this, especially if you still have work that you have not finished from last week and if you are working on your retelling. Also, when you take your selection test, which is going to be on Tuesday, you may have the text pulled up as you are taking your test. All right, I would like to give you an overview of what we're doing this week. So we are going to go to our quarter 1 folder. This week is September 21st to 25th. We have our weekly agenda. And today is Monday. So I want you to start by updating your reading log. If you have any work, if you finished any books, you need to add those to that reading log. I also want you to complete this Monday check-in. This is not optional. Last week, I think I had 19 responses out of about 100 students. So every single person needs to make sure they are filling this out. This is mandatory. We're going to do a couple book talks. And then after the book talks, you will be silent reading because it's reading day. Or because I am feeling super gracious and kind, you may also work on finishing your retelling of the medicine bag. Because tomorrow in class, the first thing we're going to do is medicine bag presentations. Okay, so what's going to happen is I'm going to pair you up with someone and you are going to be retelling your story to that person. So you want to make sure that your retelling is done so that you are prepared for that on Tuesday. After we have done that, we are going to be doing a selection test over the medicine bag. You may use the text. In fact, you should use the text when you are working on that. On Wednesday, we're going to start with Apache Girl. This is also a story about a rite of passage. This is mainly a video. We're going to do a comprehension check and a close review of that. And then on Thursday and Friday, we are going to be writing a compare and contrast on the medicine bag and the Apache Girl. We're going to talk about how they're the same and how they are different. So with that, let's go ahead and get into the book talks. The first book I want to share with you is called 5 Feet Apart. And I was thinking about how ironic all of this is because the character, Stella, is probably more relatable to us than it would have been at a different time. So, 5 Feet Apart is about a girl named Stella, and she's kind of a control freak. But unfortunately, one of the things she can't control in her life is that she has cystic fibrosis. Cystic fibrosis is a condition that really makes it difficult for people to breathe. It is a lung disease, and the only way to make it better is to actually do a lung transplant. So, you guys know that my husband had a transplant. This is a story that's right up my alley, just because I find it really relatable. So, Stella is basically living in a hospital, and she is in a situation where she cannot be 6 feet. I'm sorry, she can't be within 6 feet of other people, because if she is, and if she would get an infection, she could not get a lung transplant if she got that infection. So it's literally a life or death situation. So it's kind of ironic, like 6 feet apart, because right now in a lot of places we are living this reality when we hadn't been previously because of COVID. So maybe you can relate to this a little bit more. So she actually has to be 6 feet apart. Otherwise, she could potentially get sick and lose her chance on a transplant. Of course, a boy moves into the hospital who has the same disease as her, who also shouldn't be within 6 feet of people. And of course, they end up developing crushes on each other, and they have to figure out if their love is worth it, or if they're just going to part ways and be friends. I won't give any more away. 5 Feet Apart. It's super good. I really loved this book, but you're going to need Kleenexes for it. All right, the next one is called A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. This is the book that I actually have been reading. I found this book really interesting. So, the premise of this book is that there was a murder in this town 5 years ago, and everyone assumed that the girl's boyfriend had committed the murder. The girl that was murdered is named Andy. The boy who they say killed her was named Sal. Everyone seems to think that's the case, that's, it's a closed case, done deal, except for Pippa, our main character in the story. She does not believe that Sal was capable of doing something like this, because she knew him and looked up to him. And so she goes on this journey to try to figure out who actually killed Andy. And it is super suspenseful. It kept me on the edge of my seat. When I return, I will have this one ready for you guys. The next book is called Gym Candy. If you are into football, you probably would like this one. The main character in this book is called Mick, and he obviously wants to be the biggest, the strongest, the fastest, the best player on the team. And, there are ways to artificially make yourself big and strong and fast. And usually it has to do with taking some kind of steroid that can help your athletic performance. So Mick has to decide if he's going to go down that road, or if he is going to do what he thinks is right. The last book I'm going to share with you is Yaki Delgado Wants to Kick Your. So obviously you can see the title. So I really like this book because I don't think it's super far-fetched. It's Yaki's first day at a new school. I'm sorry, not Yaki. It's Pitty's first day at a new school. And as she is getting ready to go to class, a person that she's never met before walks up to her in the hallway and says, Yaki Delgado hates you. Yaki Delgado wants to kick your... And Pitty, doesn't even know who Yaki Delgado is. She doesn't know what she did to make her mad. But now, all of a sudden, she has an enemy in this new school of hers that wants to fight her on the first day for no reason. And I just think it's, ironic, because this does really happen in real life, whether it's because, it's a new girl, or maybe, someone's boyfriend checked out the new girl, or maybe, people are intimidated by her, or maybe she's pretty, or whatever. This isn't super far-fetched. Things like this have happened before. I really liked this book. She has the drama at school, but then she also has some other stuff going on at home. She has never met her father, and she really wants to meet her father, but her mom won't really tell her anything about him. And so it's kind of like a mix of, the funny kind of relatable stuff that happens at school, and the more serious side that she faces at home. All right. So again, your options now are to silent read, which means silent, you're not talking, or to work on finishing your retelling of the medicine bag. If you do not have your work from last week done and turned in by Tuesday, at the end of the day, Okay, so let's say Tuesday, the end of the day. On Wednesday, you will be in back lunch. What that means is that you will be working in the room off of the cafeteria. During your lunch, you'll be first in line, get your lunch, go into that room. You'll be working in that room on your work from last week until it is completed. If you have the lunch 5B, I will be down there to help you to make sure that you know what you're supposed to be doing. If you have 5A, Mr. Wiedrich is also an ELA teacher, but he also has to supervise the cafeteria. So I can't promise you that he's going to be there to help you. But you have directed studies. You will have directed studies today and directed studies on Tuesday to finish this up. Your work from last week needs to be done. It needs to be turned in. Infinite Campus is all updated. I graded everything you've submitted. I went to school yesterday and got all the papers that you've turned in. So please make sure that you have all of your stuff updated so that you don't have to be in back lunch on Wednesday, because it won't just be Wednesday. You'll be in there until all of your work is done. So let's make sure that we're on that and that we are doing what we are supposed to. If you have any questions, please send me an email or a Schoology message. Also, please be kind to your substitute teacher who is there in my place because I can't be. Please make sure that you're sitting in your assigned seats. This is a much bigger issue than just not liking your seat. We have to know where you're sitting in every single class so that we can do contact tracing if someone were to test positive. This is very, very, very important. So you should be in your assigned seats. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And if you have any questions about that, please make sure that you send me a message. So with that, have a great day, and hopefully I will see you tomorrow.